We're literally looking at a situation where the hard-working lot are working their bollocks off to have less than ever so that the ones who do all can have more than ever. That's actually what's happening here. We work so they don't have to. Lads, a lot of us, we don't buy clothes often, and when we do, we fuck it up, don't we? We buy stuff that doesn't fit, and then we end up never wearing it again, and it just sits in your wardrobe, and you're thinking, why did I buy that? This is why we all need True Classic. They give you premium, super comfortable clothes that actually fit real blokes, not just the models on the bloody advertising, meaning we will actually wear them over and over again, feel good, and look good. And that's exactly why they've sold over 25 million t-shirts to date. And the beauty of these shirts is that they're tailored higher up around the shoulders and the chest, but they're a little bit more relaxed further down. And not to mention, everything they do is just so comfortable, especially the underwear. So make sure you check out True Classic right now. There's huge discounts for Black Friday. I've had loads of lads sending me pictures of on Instagram, weirdly, of saying how good the t-shirts are. So I know that a lot of you are enjoying them. So upgrade your wardrobe now, lads. Click the link in the description below. Go to trueclassic.com/true and get yours today. Cheers, cheers, cheers. This is a late night recording session and I'm toasting to the end of Britain. It's fucked. It's over. We are done. Yeah, we had a good run. You know what I mean? We took over the world. We got everyone speaking English. And then we just thought, let's go out in a blaze of glory. Let's self-destruct so bad that a little veteran who watched all of his mates die for us all in the war looks at the state of the country when he's in his final days and goes, well, I fucking regret that, mate.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
I'm so glad one of them was still around to say that, because you know what? We all fucking know it, don't we? It's a fucking shithole, mate. My granda was in the army, got fucking shot in the army, got medals and all that. What was all that for, like? Complete fucking waste of time, unfortunately. When you've got politicians who sell this country out the way this lot have for the last 30 fucking years, it was a waste of time. And here's the latest in a long line of these fuckers. Rachel Reeves, who's just released her budget, Keir Starmer's little helper, and the Daily Express have called it a budget for benefit Street paid for by the working people. Now, this new budget follows on from the last one, which was historic. Her tax hikes last year exceeded any of those seen in Parliament since the 1970s. But to be fair to her, Alicia said, right, I've taken a lot, a fuckload, but I'm not going to take any more. We're going to leave it at that.
Will we discover in 2 years' time that there's some reason why they've got to go up?
No.
Or is this an absolute commitment?
It's an absolute commitment. But let me just say this. We've now wiped the slate clean under the mismanagement and the chaos of the previous government. It's now on us. We've put everything out into the open.
Okay.
We've set the spending envelope for the course of this Parliament. We don't need to come back for more.
Brilliant. Well, I'll just enjoy Christmas then, because she's not coming back for any more, is she? Fantastic. But they did come back, didn't they? They did, yeah, as they always fucking do. After taking 40 billion off of us, she's just announced an extra 26 billion is going to be needed. And these tax hikes exceed any tax increase in UK history. Congratulations, Rachel. You are a record breaker. Right before Christmas as well, eh? She's making a list. She's taxing us twice. She doesn't give a fuck who's paying the price. Rachel Reeves is shaking us down. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because I know I've got a lot of people who may not understand this sort of stuff and they overcomplicate things deliberately, and I really want to get through to people what the fuck is going on right now. If you get up early and you want to work hard and you've got ambition, she's coming after you. If you want to build a business and create jobs for other people, you are on the list. I'm not talking about company owners like Bill Gates and Elon Musk. I'm talking about your regular dudes, your bricklayers, your fucking electricians, plumbers. If you've got a local business and you've got even a couple of employees, this is a problem. But no, you're not the only ones. They're also taxing savings and investments. So if you've been saving up for a rainy day, well, make it fucking rain on the fucking government, because we'll be having some of it. I make it rain on these hoes. I make it rain. No offense, Rachel, but that's what we're doing on you right now. You're twerking for us. And if you've been paying into a pension because you don't want to have to live off the state when you're older, well, bad news, Grandad. I don't give a fuck about your arthritis. Christmas. Get back to work because we're taking some of that off of you. Grandma ain't going to be able to afford bingo this Friday. Yep, if you did everything that you were told to do when you were a young man, you worked hard, you generated value, well, you're going to be rewarded with higher taxes, less take-home pay, and penalties for trying to build a secure future. And for those who don't want to work and don't want to contribute, well, you just won. You lot are going to be like Kevin McAllister, just kicking back, enjoying Christmas, while all the fuckers are getting out de-icing their car early in the morning because they got a hard day at work, son. And here's an example of how Rachel Ree's budget is going to work. But not before I have a little sip of my whiskey, because this is depressing. They've increased employers' national insurance payments. And what that means is, for an employer to give a job to someone, it's going to cost them more. And again, I'm not talking about Microsoft and Amazon. I'm talking about normal dudes with small companies just trying to get by, man. The backbone of the community. People think if someone's got a fucking company that they're automatically insanely wealthy. Bollocks. And Labour said, we're not going to come after the working people. Apparently, if you have a company, even a really small one, you're not technically a working person. Seems legit. It's funny because a lot of the fucking hardest working people I know are fucking self-employed with their own business and working like a fucking dog. So now these business owners will be forced to pay less wages to you if you want to work for them. If you want to buy anything from them, use their services, they're going to have to charge you more and they won't be able to give out as many jobs as before. I bet that'll really stimulate the economy, won't it? And it's ironic because a lot of people moan about Trump and they hate Trump in this country, but he's doing the literal exact opposite of what Labour are doing, by the way. He's trying to pump money into the economy to stimulate growth. But fear not, because Rachel has said those with the broadest shoulders should pay their fair share of tax, insinuating that people with the most money will bear the load. But that's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. They've gone and frozen tax thresholds, and this is going to last for years. As you know, you pay 20% tax up to £50,000, and above £50,000, you go up to 40% tax, and so on and so forth. And you might think by freezing the tax threshold that that's actually a good thing. You know, they're not raising the amount of tax they're taking from us, so that's a good thing, right? Wrong. This is stealth tax due to inflation. You see, every year people are supposed to get a pay rise in line with inflation. And even then, that is not happening across the board, right? It's fucking hard, man. Businesses are struggling like fuck. House prices are going up, bills are going up, groceries are going up, and people are struggling more than ever to afford the same lifestyle that they would have been able to afford if they were doing the same job 20 years ago. By the way, this is when you know a country is absolutely fucked. Money is worth less than it has ever been worth. So what the government should be doing is adjusting the tax brackets in line with inflation so that people can get higher allowances before they start getting taxed at 40%. Then they can get the quality of life they deserve without the government taking more money than they should be. Now, I'll give you a good example. In 1990, the 40% tax band started at about £20,700 a year. So that was the point where you'd enter the 40%. If we adjusted that 20,700 figure from 1990 to now, in line with inflation, our 40% tax bracket would start at £67,000 roughly. That's a £17,000 difference from where it actually is at because of what the government wanted to be at. So that's plenty money for them to be helping themselves to instead of where it should be at. So if you keep your tax bracket here and people are naturally making more and more money with inflation, but this stays here, you're going to get more people than ever into the higher tax bracket. So even though the numbers on your bank account look bigger, the quality of life you've got is no better because of that price of everything. And they're now taking more money from you than they ever have. And just to make it worse, every year, those numbers get worth less and less and less and less. And you're working just as hard as your grandparents did, but you've got far less to show for it. And by freezing this number, they are going to bring millions and millions of people into the higher tax bracket. Right now, it's about 1 in 7 who are in that bracket. By 2031, it's going to be 1 in 4. That's roughly an extra 6 million people. And the government can sit back and go, well, we haven't raised your taxes, you know, we're not taking any more than the 40%. And you've got broad shoulders, you can handle it. And what's really mad is like, this is now going to impact people who've never been impacted by this before. Nurses, teachers, police officers, train drivers are entering the 40% tax bracket for their first time in their life. So they may not be raising the percentage they're taking, but they're taxing more people, more money than ever. And where's this money going? Well, if you know the UK government like I do, I think we all know they'll put it to good use, won't they? I hope they don't tax whiskey. Going on benefits. Oh, fucking hell. What a surprise. Imagine my shock. In 2015, we were paying about 155 billion out on benefits in the UK. By 2030, we are looking at 400 billion on benefits in the UK. Now, I know what you're thinking. How come benefits keep going up and up and up, but the money going back into the working man's pocket ain't going up? In fact, it's going down. We're getting scammed, is the answer. We're just getting ripped off. It's as simple as that. And here is an example of exactly fucking how. Benefits madness is 18,000 families with 6 children set to get an extra £14,000 a year. They've scrapped the 2-child benefit cap, meaning that they can now claim not just for 2 kids, but for as many kids as they can possibly fucking pump out. So it sounds to me like when Rachel Reeves says, well, we've all got to pay our fair share, that fair share doesn't extend to looking after all your own fucking kids. Hey, you gotta fucking have a fucking few kids on me, love. Don't worry about it. Have a baby, mommy, baby, be a millionaire, write the check before the baby comes. Who the fuck cares? I mean, look, they do say it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a whole fucking country, apparently. 400 million quid on benefits. That's what we're paying out in this country. How is that even possible? We're literally looking at a situation where the hard-working lot are working their bollocks off to have less than ever so that the ones who do fuck all can have more than ever. That's actually what's happening here. We work so they don't have to. Go for them, mate. Fucking hell. And look, before anyone gets the wrong idea, right? I was raised by a single mother. My mum, at times, would have definitely had to take help, like free school dinners, that sort of stuff, 100%. Benefits are there to help people get back on their feet. And I absolutely support that. That is a great thing that we do in this country. But somewhere along the line, benefits turned into a fucking lifestyle choice. 400 billion. That ain't getting people back on their feet. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not getting less. And I don't know about you lot, but I don't really feel like saying to people, you know, if you have more kids, we'll give you even more money. It's not really giving the let's get you back into work energy, is it? You mean to say, if I just keep shagging my lass and keep pumping kids out, I could get more money than if I actually had to go and get a job? This is a tough decision, isn't it? Whatever will I do? I'm really good at busting nuts, so I think I'll just stick with that. What a joke this country is. What a fucking joke we are, honestly. And like, it sort of distorts the entire reason to have a child. Like, you're supposed to have a child out of love, you know, out of a situation where you love someone and you want to make a little baby together and you want to look after that baby and give them a great life. That's the reason to have a child, not because it's better than getting a job in it. Fuck it. Go on then. And you can't tell me that removing the 2-child benefit cap is going to not encourage that. Absolutely it will. People will abuse the system because it's human nature. We take advantage of opportunities that make life easier for us. Part of me doesn't even blame them. According to the news, you can claim anywhere from 35 to 65 grand a year when you've got 6 kids. And that's tax-free, by the way. So if you get a bloke who's earning 35 grand a year, he's getting up every morning, trudging to work, paying his taxes, he's coming out with less for grafting his balls off. What kind of message does that fucking send? You're literally better off sitting home shagging than earning a crust. And I know plenty of hardworking people that when they talk about having children, they're always like, well, you know, can we afford it financially? We'll have to see where we are. That's what responsible, decent people do. So how come hardworking people are accountable for their own children and have to worry about that sort of shit, but someone who doesn't work and doesn't put into the system isn't accountable? For some reason, their kids are our problem. They're being encouraged to have as many kids as possible, and for working people, that's often a luxury that they can't afford to go to as many kids as they want. They've got to stop at 1 or 2. You know, I don't mind if there's people who've fallen on hard times, someone's lost their job, they've got a couple of kids, they need a bit of help. I get it. But to encourage this sort of society where you're just pumping out as many kids as possible and keep going and going and going so that you don't have to work, that's just crazy. Where are the consequences? Why are we not treating people like the grown adults that we treat regular working people like? Well, apparently, consequences go out the window when you're more likely to vote Labour in the next election, because that's what this is really about. They don't give a fuck about improving the country, man. They want to get re-elected, and they want to get as many people into the country as they can to vote for them, in case you haven't guessed, and as many people as possible dependent on them to vote for them. They're putting their own party before the well-being of England. That's obvious. And some people are saying this is another example of Labour prioritising immigrants over British people. And look, 1 in 6 people claiming benefits in Britain is not British. That's 1.3 million immigrants on benefits in the UK. If anyone thinks that's not a problem, you're a fucking idiot, basically. I don't even need to go into that. Massive problem. And it's a massive reason why people are flocking here. And that's not an opinion. That's not me trying to dig people out, or I don't give a fuck where anyone comes from. It's just the numbers. They're speaking to you loud and fucking clear. And that 1.3 million is growing rapidly. And the taxes that we're paying are going up and up and up and up so that we can handle more and more and more. And one of the reasons why people think that this whole thing about the 2-child benefit cap being scrapped is Labour pandering to non-British people is again because of the stats. stats. When you look at the mothers in the UK who have 3 or more children, only 14% of babies born to British mothers are a third or higher child. Compare that with 40% of non-UK born mothers having a third or higher child. Basically, having 3 or 4 or 5 or more kids in the UK is still rare among British born people, but it is very common in immigrant families. And again, I'm obviously not saying all these people are fucking on benefits. Every immigrant who comes into the country, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the reason why people think that Labour are targeting these people. Some of the groups within these immigrant communities are at 55 to 70% with 3 or more children compared to 14% of British-born mothers. That is a dramatic difference. That is massive. So based on the data, yes, I could easily see why people would look at that and go, yeah, Labour are trying to cater to a certain demographic because they do try and secure the votes from those groups. We know that the data from illegal immigrants is very hard to come by because Keir Starmer has deliberately suppressed it as much as humanly possible. There's numbers floating around in the region of 10 billion a year it's costing us for illegal immigrants right now. When you consider that we've just had 26 billion taken out of the British taxpayer, and then we've got 10 billion going into people who shouldn't even be here, that's a disgrace. If we had a decent government in charge, we wouldn't be needing all of that money because they'd be running it efficiently to fucking start off with. And I did a whole video a while back about all the nonsensical things our tax money goes into. I'm not even going to get onto that in this. Safe to say, they're a fucking bunch of wasters and they're taking the fucking piss, a lot of them. But one of the things I think we should be concerned about is the fact that when people talk about paying your fair share, the top 5% of earners in this country are paying 50% of the tax. And thank fuck, don't get me wrong, I don't really have too much sympathy for the rich bastards. But the problem is, it looks like they're all starting to fuck off. And I don't blame them for that bit. I mean, a lot of them are based in London. London's a fucking shithole. They're getting taxed to fuck. Dubai's pretty sunny, tax-free. They can afford to move over there and places like that. And 257,000 Brits left last year. Of those, more millionaires than ever before on record left the UK in the last year. And it's getting more every year. From 2023 to 2024, we started with about 3 million millionaires living in the country. In 1 year, we dropped by 440,000 millionaires. Some of that was by them losing money, some of that was by them leaving, but you get the point. When you look at the millionaires leaving the UK, and it's such a small country, our figure per year is more than double of what's leaving China. Fucking China! And we've got double the millionaires leaving. There was an estimated 100 billion of wealth that left the UK last year. Now, if they're all fucking off to Dubai because they're sick of Labour and the fucking way they run the country, who is going to pick up all the slack and pay the tax? Who's going to pay for everything? When 5% are paying 50%, that's a problem. Us? Are we going to fucking pay for it? Who the fuck's going to employ us? They've all fucked off and they've taken their companies with them. This whole thing is a recipe for disaster. We are headed for absolute certain doom. As much as those rich fuckers should pay more tax than us, abso-fucking-lutely, we need them more than they need us. And the direction we're going right now is so fucked. It's unbelievable. And I'd love to sit here and go, so go and vote for this lot. Who the fuck do we vote? I don't fucking know. They've all been shite. I don't trust any of them as far as I can throw them, but bloody hell, Labour. Shocking. Anyway, there's one thing that'll make us feel better. That's another glass of whiskey. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit the like button. Let me know what you are thinking in the comments below. I really appreciate the community we are building. Sorry it's been a while. I've been away doing some boxing stuff, but I'm back now. If there's anything else that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Big love. Subscribe to the True Geordie YouTube channel. I'll see you on the next one.